The life of an extension cord can be shortened dramatically by the plug ends failing. Frayed or broken wires, damage to the outer casing, lost ground pins, it's always the plug ends that fail first. But you can replace the ends quickly and easily for a fraction of the cost of buying a brand new cord. The ends I'm going to be using are the Journeyman Pros, and don't worry, there's going to be a link for them in the video description. These are a high-end plug replacement. They're UL listed, they light up, and they're pretty heavy duty. I've been using these for a number of years and I've never had an issue. They do cost a little bit of money, but you have to keep in mind how expensive extension cords get. When you deal with longer cord lengths and a thicker gauge cord, the cost really goes up, so replacing the cord entirely gets really expensive. Before we get started, I've got a quick pro tip on how to stay alive. Unplug the cord from the wall before you begin. That should go without saying, but you never know. So there, I said it. The first thing I do is cut off the old plug end. I'm using a large side cutters with a leveraged handle. It's a pretty thick gauge wire, so it's a little bit tricky to cut through. That's why the longer handle gives me the extra force. Get that old end off there, but hang on to it just for now. You'll see in a second. Now we have to peel back the outer casing, and to do that, my tool of choice is an old rusty razor blade. The trick is holding the cord in your hand and lightly scoring with the other hand without stabbing yourself. You're gonna score back about 1.5 inches and then around the circumference of the cord, and again, you're just scoring it. You'll see as I start to pull it apart, it's actually not cut all the way through, because you don't want to cut all the way through because you might risk cutting into the wires themselves, which you don't want to do. So I'm scoring back, I'm peeling away that outer casing, and then I'm peeling back around the diameter to get rid of that first 1.5 to 2 inches of outer casing complete. Now I have to strip the ends off the 3 wires, and to do that I'm using one of those fancy pistol grip wire strippers. And mine is actually designed for a much thinner gauge wire, so it really doesn't work too great on these thick wires. It takes a couple pulls of the handle, and I have to kind of peel it off by hand anyways. Now, if you don't have a wire strippers, you can just use that same rusty razor blade to trim it back manually. It's thicker gauge wire, so it's really kind of easy to do. It's not that bad. Use whatever you have. Now the cord is prepped and ready to go, and you want to grab your new plug and take it apart. It's held together by about 4 screws. You take the 2 ends out of the one. That sort of separates the body from the end, and then there's the collar on the backside. You can take those apart for now too. And you want to take the clear plastic part of the body and put that on the cord first. This is a very important step. You don't want to forget this and get everything connected and then realize, oh crap, I forgot to put that thing on first. And you'd have to disconnect everything and do it all over again. So make sure you get that end to slide on first before you connect anything. Now with your new plug, take note of which wires go where. The green one's usually pretty easy because there's the green screw. I like to use the old plug as a reference to make sure each wire goes back exactly the way that it was. Insert each wire one at a time all the way into the receptacle and then tighten the screw down firmly. Do this for all 3 wires and the connection part is complete. Now that clear plastic part that you definitely didn't forget to put onto the cord first, that comes into play now. You want to slide that back up and around and then put the 2 screws in through the end of the plug into that body piece. That's gonna hold the 2 halves together. Now you wanna set in place the 2 halves of the collar piece and use the 2 remaining screws to put that together. Again, screw them together tightly and firmly. Now you have one end finished. This extension cord, I'm replacing both ends. So the same process is applied to the other end of the cord. Cut off the old end, strip the outer casing back without stabbing yourself, strip the ends of the 3 wires, slide the clear plastic piece over the end of the cord, insert the wires into the plug, double check orientation of the wires, tighten each wire into its clamp, slide the plug end back into place and secure with the 2 screws, add the locking collar on the back side of the plug and tighten firm. Now that both ends are replaced, let's plug it in and see what we got. And this is what the finished product looks like. I really like the light up ends on this and adds a nice touch to the extension cord. It's a really nice upgrade if the extension cord didn't have light up ends before. Now that this extension cord is back in perfect working order, I can go back to using it for its one true purpose in my shop, being an awesome jump rope. Hey, if you liked this video, and I hope you did, think about subscribing to the channel. I make content like this all the time. And don't even pretend you're not jealous of those sweet jump rope skills. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.